thank you for joining us on this live screening. Myself and Kim will be available during the screening of this video. So if you do have any questions on the topic that we're speaking about or anything else, please let us know so that we can engage with you and just answer any of the questions you might have. And yeah, thank you very much for stopping by. One thing I wanted to mention is in today's topic, we're talking about how to name your membership level, and it's based on a blog post that Kim has written. So we'll touch on that more in a moment, but I wanted to let you know that if you want to view the actual blog post, there will be a link down below in the comment sections of this video. With that being said, let's start the video. Hey everyone, Travis and Kim here from Paid Memberships Pro. We recently did a Ask Us Anything session on YouTube and it went really well. So we decided to do a couple of more sessions, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about how you can name your membership level or subscription and why that's important. So Kim, thank you for joining me this morning and my afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I was waking up at 5 a.m. today thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? But I think at this point, once you've showered and had your coffee, you start to think, hey, I could do this every day. Maybe not, but at least for now, I'm good. I'm alive. I have coffee. I feel awake.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like you got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So yeah. I have to say.
I usually only wake up this early when I'm traveling to some tropical place. So this is a little letdown.
Yeah, sorry, you're going to have to talk with me for a little while for the next bit.
That's okay.
So Kim, the reason why I thought to maybe do this specific video recording is we have a blog post online on our site, and the blog post name is How to Name Your Membership Level or Subscription Options. And it seems to be an extremely positive and popular blog post, and I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on it, why you think it's doing so well, and why do you think it's actually necessary to worry so much about the name of your membership or your membership level. Can you give us a bit of an overview on the article?
Sure. We wrote this a long time ago, so it's kind of had a lot of traction on the web. But one thing we've talked about on our blog before is writing kind of solution agnostic content. And it's a way to draw an audience broader than your specific product. So for this blog post, it doesn't matter if you're using our plugin for your WordPress membership site, or if you're using any other system. This is a problem that all membership and subscription type businesses will face. How do we name these levels? You can face that decision at the beginning when you're just starting out, and you can face that decision later on if you intend to add a new option or restructure how your levels are created. And one point I want to make, if you're watching this and you already have your levels named, so it's never too late to rethink this portion of your membership. Technically, with most systems, it's probably just a text adjustment in one field somewhere. I know with Paid Memberships Pro, it would just be editing the level and putting a new name in that text input, and it would trickle down through all places that name is shown, unless you've written it in actual text somewhere. But it can be a decision you can make at the beginning, or you can make that later on in the process.
Okay, great. You mentioned in the article that naming your membership level correctly can even have an effect on your conversion rate, or, can you speak a little bit about that? Is it that big of a deal in terms of naming a membership?
I think when you get into it being a big deal is when you create a name or kind of a group that's attractive and exciting and people want to be a part of. So if your product is something that people are talking about, that people are telling other people about, and you have a really stale name like Monthly, it's not that exciting. It's not something you want to tell other people. And it does vary product to product if you have one level or if you have many levels, how you do that. But when you get into like the higher tier memberships that are very pricey, we're talking multiple $100s a month, $1,000 plus a year. Those are the places where having a name that people can feel proud of, it really comes into place and can make a difference.
I suppose, like, as you were speaking, I was thinking about how, because if you use the example as like a monthly membership level name, and I suppose that's very easy to understand exactly what you get. It's like quite clear what monthly would mean, but you mentioned that it's also boring. So I would imagine that it's a bit of a balancing act to try come up with a creative name, but also something that isn't extremely vague.
Yes.
Because it has to be somewhat clear and then also somewhat creative, or enticing for the people to sign up to.
And I think there's a way to get around that. There's a way to attach a unique name to all of your levels if you're strictly dividing levels based on payment structure. So you could still have some kind of brand or an exciting kind of name for the people who sign on to join your program, and still have level options that maybe have a more generic name like monthly, annual, weekly, whatever those options would be. But you could still get creative and don't feel like you're limited from attaching a brand to all of the levels.
Right. And do you have any advice for someone whether they have just started a membership site or they're in the trenches of their membership journey and they are thinking about their membership level names or their subscription option names? Have you got any advice on like where to start? Because I'd imagine that you would start off going daily, weekly, monthly as a base point, but where to from there? How can they come up with sort of these creative yet clear names for their membership levels?
I would start by taking a look at the levels you intend to offer. How many levels are you planning to offer? And how do the features of the levels differ from one another? When you talk about a monthly versus annual, the feature of that level might be identical. So then the name does need to convey something about the pricing structure. The article talks about a few different ways that levels should be named, depending on what product you're offering. If the levels differ based on who's consuming them, this would be the case. And let me try to pull up a couple examples.
Okay, great.
Here. Okay. So let's talk first. Let me bring up the example of kind of a unique name where the level is identical. There's one level. In this case, it's Habitat for Humanity, and they've called their membership a Hope Builder.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll pull it up here. So they call you a Hope Builder when you join as a member. This is a case where you can set your own price for membership, which Paid Memberships Pro does have a feature to include that. But in this case, they've called all members Hope Builders, which is kind of exciting. It's kind of like, yes, I want to build hope. I'm signing on and I've attached a unique name to it. And now instead of referring to me as member, Kim, you're a member, Kim, you're a member, they can call me a Hope Builder. And they're reinforcing why I'm donating to their project every time they use that term.
I actually really like that. And now I think I've got a clearer picture of what you were trying to say earlier, because if I join Habitat for Humanity and I get labeled as a Hope Builder, that gives me some sort of purpose as what I am doing as a member. So it's kind of like, it gives me like a purpose, and it also kind of like, introduces me or integrates me into their community. I'm a Hope Builder in their club or in their association, yes, or whatever. So I can understand that now.
So rather than calling me a donor or a supporter or all these other kind of generic terms that we can use for a donation-based project, they've created a unique brand around it. You could put it on a t-shirt. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Putting the word monthly on a t-shirt is kind of boring.
Yeah, of course.
Another example, which is a free level, is Target's. They just rebranded. It used to be called Cartwheel, and now they're calling it Circle. Target is a U.S., primarily I think U.S. based. I don't know. Are there Targets in South Africa, Travis?
No, actually not. So when we recently visited, Target was one of our go-to places to stop by.
Yeah.
We weren't very ambitious if we were
That's
excited.
okay. No, I think that's a place to go to for sure. So yeah, they call theirs Target Circle now. And I think it's a great name because you're a member of the circle. And everyone thinks of a circle as kind of this inclusive, you're in the circle or you're out of the circle. It's like dodgeball or something at school where you're inside or outside. So it's something you want to be a part of because people want to be inside with others. It's kind of this herd mentality that humans have. And then the last kind of single level membership I want to talk about is Amazon Prime. Again, they don't call it you're just a member or you joined.
Right.
This is a paid level, unlike Target Circle. They call it Prime. I don't know where they got that name from.
Right.
I think it's a cool name. It's a short name. I think of Optimus Prime. Your mind can go anywhere when you think of Prime. A prime number, something
what
premier, something the best.
Right.
So it encourages you to join in a way.
Maybe a tip that someone can actually use, because what I've picked up from the Hope Builder to the Circle to Prime is that there is always, or not always, in these three examples at least, their membership level is related directly to their brand. So the logo that Target has is obviously the bullseye and it's a circle. And then could you go back to the Target circle really quickly? Yep. I see that little catchphrase at the bottom, more rewarding all around. So they've kind of connected this brand idea to their membership name. So like you say, it's not just a passing by the monthly Target membership. It's something a little bit more unique. And immediately I'm enticed to sign up because I want to be part of this inner circle per se. So I really like that. I also...
I'm going to go another route.
Yeah.
Or do you want to go?
No.
I was going to keep talking, but I can stop and we can keep diving into this one.
Please, go for it. I'm keen to see more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so another option then is when your levels define the features you get. So I'm going to pull up Netflix, which everyone's probably familiar with. In this case, they offer 3 levels: basic, standard, premium. And it's pretty obvious. If you gave a 10-year-old 3 cards, one said basic, one said standard, and one said premium, you said put these in order of worst to best.
Right.
Or lowest to highest.
Right.
I think that they could, at a very basic level, somebody would understand, I used the word basic there, the structure of how things build on one another with a level name like this. It's not that exciting, but the product is kind of speaking for itself in this case.
Right.
And you know what you're getting, and basically you're self-selecting what you need. The price isn't that different. I think premium is maybe $20 monthly, standard's $12.99. So you're not jumping huge gaps for price here. Some products that do divide by feature do have a large price jump. And we'll look at one of those next. But in this case, you're kind of self-selecting. If I'm single, I live at home and I watch on one device, I'm basic.
Yeah.
And it might feel weird. I don't want to be basic. I want to be premium. But it's not that painful to call yourself the basic plan in this case.
Right.
So this is that example where the feature increases and you use the level name to show the increased value, increased feature.
Right. Before you move on, I just wanted to, with the Netflix pricing or the naming of these levels, I kind of feel like this should be your sort of baseline bare minimum go-to. Like if you are really struggling to come up with a name for your membership level, or you are trying to think of these very wild, irrelevant names, then this is kind of your safe to go for like a basic or to go for a pro, kind of name. Would you say that this would be like the sort of like baseline entry point that you should, if you are really struggling, then you should kind of go for this kind of structure? Or
I think it's a safe way to go because it's easy to understand for your members. It's easy for you to find the structure of the words that you want to use.
Right.
As long as it fits your product. If your product doesn't add on to features and have this kind of hierarchical
Right.
levels, then it doesn't fit. But it is the model we use in our demo videos. We have, I think we have standard, beginner, enhanced,
Yes.
platinum maybe. We use kind of words like that because
Yeah.
it's what people traditionally think about when they think about a membership. They think of tiers.
I know we have used also things like basic, gold, or sorry, bronze, gold, and platinum.
Yes.
But
Yes.
again, that is quite a generic naming structure, unless you are dealing with precious metal, maybe. Then it. Okay, great. Okay, awesome. So
I do want to add, this is just a tidbit, but if you are structuring your levels where they're hierarchical, you got to deliver on the biggest benefit that your most expensive level has. And that's, I think, where it's fun to plan your membership levels and come up with these names and create, even if it's a decoy level, you have this high priced level, it's platinum or premium. If anyone buys that level and you've offered them one-on-one consulting or, shipped them something in the mail, just make sure you're delivering on that. So I talk about, we didn't talk about decoy levels in this call too much, but that's the case where you create a level just to have a third option so that most people will choose your middle tier. So I just want to caution people that if they're adding a decoy level that is kind of premium or ultimate, that they're delivering on the offering that they're promising people.
that makes sense, yeah. Kim, would you say that I'm just imagining the person who's watching this or the person who is setting up a membership site, and that one little sort of detail of coming up with this perfect name for their membership level will just kind of like halt the whole launch of their membership program. Would you say it's a problem that someone starts out with something simple like the basic standard premium naming structure and then later become a little, or when inspiration hits, rename the levels a little bit more creatively? Is there a problem with
You
that?
absolutely could do that. No, there's no problem with that. And your members have decided to become a member more because of your features. And if things are kind of stagnant and you want to create more excitement around it, that might be something to look at to get more creative with your level naming.
Great. Awesome. Did you have one more naming
Yeah, I
structure
have,
to go through?
this is one more where I think the level name implies the type of customer. So unlike the Netflix level where any home could be any of these three options they have, in this case, the level selection is more based on, are you a small company? Are you a mid-sized company? Are you a large enterprise company? In this case, it's also almost self-selected. People might get started with Zoom at a basic level or a pro level and then decide they need more.
Right.
Even if they have a team of 50 people, they might still begin at a lower tier level. But in this case, they're using basic, pro, business, and enterprise, which does somewhat imply hierarchy.
Right.
But it's kind of the type of person you are, the type of buyer that you are.
Yeah.
So it's subtly different, but it's not only feature-based. It's also the type of person you are.
Yes.
If you're a solo entrepreneur, you'll never need enterprise.
Right.
And you won't aspire to become enterprise necessarily. It just isn't going to be an option you need to consider. So people look to those names and they say, well, where do I fit? And in this case, they're also kind of qualifying their level. Great for small teams, for small and medium businesses. So they're using a short name for their level, but they're very quickly adding a little value to say, for this size.
Yes.
To allow people to easily zero in on which one is the appropriate level.
Yes, for sure. Also, I know another tip, and I think you touched on it earlier. I see in the pro section or the pro tier that they have got the, sort of a highlighted or an orange buy now button. Is that kind of like, a strategic way of trying to get people to preferably purchase the pro? Because we spoke about sizes. could you speak a little bit about why that button is highlighted, or how you would even come up with, like, I want people to preferably purchase this level rather than, say, the business level?
Let me think what the best way to tackle that is. So when you're just starting out, you might not have an idea of what is going to be your most popular level that people are choosing, but you might have a strong idea of what most people are choosing. I know with Paid Memberships Pro, we've struggled and played with a lot of level models, and we've kind of settled on one that makes the most sense, and most people become what we call Plus. And then we have a higher tier level that has the exact same features, but just unlocks more usage for a larger scale size company or size membership. So we highlight the Plus option because it's the most chosen. It's what most people are looking for. And the use of color, we do it on our site with a highlighted border. Some sites opt to do it this way, where they've highlighted the button. Some sites put a banner at the top, most popular option, something along those lines. These are all ways that you're calling out a little handhold. Let me take you to what you're probably looking for.
Great.
So it's a way that your website becomes a little bit of a hands-on salesperson by saying, oh, hi, welcome to our store. What can I help you find? Oh, here it is.
Right, right.
And it's done with these visual design cues or with text to highlight those levels.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you look at this page, take a step back and look at it, there is actually quite a lot of similar sized fonts and text, and that orange button can just sort of like zone you in a little bit more to listen. This is probably the most valuable package, assuming you aren't a big business or an enterprise. This is what you most likely want to go for. So it just kind of highlights that subtly. So that's really nice.
One thing that's kind of throwing me about this page, though, when sites have columns that kind of list features in horizontal, this site, some of them line up. So if you see the middle two columns, 100, 300. So you can kind of see what's different about these two levels. So the decision-making process for someone to buy your thing, they're probably looking at other things. It's important that you make it clear what's different about your levels and what's different about your product compared to the other ones they're looking at. So this kind of is a little confusing to me, the way that it's laid out.
Right.
We have ours kind of like check marks, which is a traditional way to show like a comparison of you get this, you don't get this at this level. But they do have way more features that they want to highlight on this page than we're highlighting on our levels page. But just like a point there that if your levels really differ based on a consumption, that just make it really clear.
Yes. Just
that what that little dial is across.
Right. Yeah. Because if I look at the pro, like this is just an example. If I look at the pro section and I saw reporting, there's a point there that says reporting. So the pro feature, you get reporting on your Zoom videos. And then I was looking for reporting on the other tiers, and I actually couldn't see it. And it took a little bit of digging before I actually saw that. All pro features. So like it actually took me a couple of seconds before I actually saw, all of the pro features are actually included. Plus you get all of those. So, okay, I can see, it took me a second to just kind of like navigate this. So I can understand that you want to try and make it as intuitive and easy to understand as possible.
And particularly when your level this is a subtle hierarchy, but a hierarchy where the feature improves or gets it added on to the higher you get. So to highlight what's better about paying $19.99 versus $14.99.
Right.
What specific things are the $19.99 level people getting?
Right.
Just to convince me to pay you $5 more.
$5 more, right.
Do we have time to talk about one more?
Yes, we do have time. I actually wanted to ask you one more question on this, but last question I had, and you can just touch on it briefly, is, and I know this kind of depends on the membership site that you're running, but is there a general amount of membership tiers that you should aim for. Like some people have said, like, is it okay if I have only 3? Can I have more than that? These are 4 tiers that we have there. Can you just touch on a little bit about the number of membership options that you have, and does that make a difference?
I would never present more than 4 at a time to a visitor. And you can still have more than 4, but you just need to think about the design and let the user narrow in kind of in a funnel, kind of like make a choice from these things, where are you? What size company are you? Let's say if it was this and they wanted to have more levels. And then there's kind of fewer options presented based on that selection. I think having more than can fit horizontally makes it hard to compare.
Right.
There is like the idea that each group of levels, let's say you have 3 levels and it's all for people who love cats and are interested in cats. And then you have 3 levels that's specifically for dog lovers. They're all interested in dogs. The people who are interested in cats are only going to consider those 3. So having another section on the page with the other 3 dog options is okay because they've already narrowed in. They've cut 50% of your levels out of their brain, and they've gone to a section with only 3 options presented to them. And you can do this. Actually, the site I was going to bring up next does do this. Oh, I have to start over. I'll start over. Okay. So this is a site. This is the Franklin Institute, which is a science-oriented museum here in Philadelphia area. And they have a lot of levels, but you can see here I'm only presented with 4 things.
Right.
And it's individuals, families, membership circles, benefactor society. I don't really know when I'm reading this what a membership circle or benefactor society, but I know I have kids, so I know to go here and say, okay, I'm a family. And now my options are 2.
Okay.
If this was all shown in a huge thing, how many options would I be presented with? It would be quite overwhelming to compare all of this simultaneously.
So the way this is designed, this page, it's first making you choose which category do you most likely fit in, and then there will be these sub levels, if you will, within it. Okay, so that's a great way to actually lay out.
And if you have kids and you're going to this museum, you're never going to need to browse this section.
Makes sense, yeah.
You're not in there anymore. You have a family now. When I bought our membership, I did open up the membership circle. I said, oh, okay, what would that give us? Oh, some is tax deductible. Oh, so I think you could still have someone like our family shopping among the sections. But if the first thing I clicked was only 2 options, so I wasn't overwhelmed with everything that I could choose from. I was just reading those 2. And after I read those 2, I had a gut feeling. I was like, oh, we're probably Family Max. Right. Let me see what it costs to be Friend Circle. Oh, the price difference is basically tax deductible.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you can the person's already convinced that they want to join, I believe, when they get to this point, and they're at that level of decision making. So then, the fine grain features come into play of what you've listed at this point.
Right. Great. Okay. Kim, would you be able to show us the actual blog post? Because I saw that you had a really cool, it's almost like a little calculator on the page where you can actually go ahead.
This is fun.
So for those watching now, Kim really has taken time and she's gone through the naming process. And so if you are serious about getting your membership level or subscription option named correctly, I would highly recommend checking out this blog post. It's called How to Name Your Membership Levels or Subscription Options. And you don't necessarily need to be using Paid Memberships Pro. If you are running a membership site with any other platform, you can use these tips and tricks. It's not a PM Pro only kind of guide. So anyway, yes, this is the calculator that I stumbled on earlier. So can you just talk us through this a little?
Sure. So for our platform, there's lots of places that your level name is going to be inserted. And it won't only be on the levels page. It's going to be in a lot of places. Depending on what platform you're using, I'm sure this is the case with almost every membership plugin or hosted membership solution out there. So it would be nice if everyone had a tool like this, but I think just in browsing your website, once you've set it up and put a level name in there, you can get a feel for how the name holds up in all these kind of embedded phrases that are outside of your editing control. So on the Paid Memberships Pro, this in our site, so our membership is called Plus. So I've just typed it in this little field, but it kind of shows you the three main ways that people will be presented with your level name and how that's going to look for them. And is it going to read well?
Right.
I see a lot of sites with Paid Memberships Pro, they name their level Plus membership.
Okay.
So they include the word membership in it because it feels like inherent to them.
Right.
But if we look back to like Target Circle, it's not called Target Circle membership. It's called Target Circle. And we look at Hope Builder. It's called Hope Builder, not Hope Builder membership.
Right.
So just wrap your brain around trying to exclude the word membership or subscriber or any additional like qualifier and keep your level name
sort of
free of those words.
Right.
If we had called our membership Plus membership, certain phrases that the user would see would say membership twice.
Right.
Your Plus membership is active, which is really going to make you look a little dumb. So important to, once you pick a name, give it a little test across all the places in your platform it's presented and make sure those sentences read well.
Yeah, that makes sense. And as you said, no matter what sort of platform you're building your membership site on, chances are they are going to have these kind of, words filled in already, like the word membership or subscription. So that's a good tip. Okay, cool. Yeah. I see you put Hope Builder there. Great.
None of the sites that I've shown you today use Paid Memberships Pro. I didn't clarify that at the beginning, but
yeah,
they do not. That would be great.
Yeah,
but
that would be
not
great.
Yet.
Okay, great. Kim, have you got any last tips for people, or are you pretty happy with the information you've given out so far?
Work? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, I feel good. There's always more to be said. It's an exciting part of building membership sites, and I've joked before that I don't know that I grew up as a little girl saying I wanted to help people build membership sites, but we've built them and we've helped people and we've seen so much. So these kinds of soft skills of running a membership site are an area that you, Travis, me, Jason, we've all seen enough and talked to enough people about how they're doing things, and ourselves building our own site have experienced the growing pains, the startup pains, the long-term pains of running these type businesses. So it's exciting to share more of that kind of content with people. We share a lot of code. We share a lot of recipes. We share a lot of kind of technical documentation about add-ons, but I'm glad we're getting into this area some more.
Great, yeah. Kim, I think that's about all we have time for today. Thank you very much for waking up at the crack of dawn and looking so good and getting on a call with me to chat.
That's why I have my coffee.
Yeah.
What mug? We were joking yesterday about what mug. This is my best friend has 4 paws.
Ah, okay. So you would be the dog person then of the membership site.
Yes.
You would go to the dog level.
No cats. No cats.
Great. Okay. Kim, thank you very much. And if you are following along with us on YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment down below. We're more than willing to answer any questions or comments that you may have. And thank you very much for stopping by to chat with us today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Hello again. Thank you for watching this video with us, and I really hope that you have found some decent naming tips for your membership levels. So myself and Kim, we're still going to be around for a little while longer. We'll probably let this video stream for another 5 minutes or so, and you can take this time or this opportunity to just ask us any of your questions or even just leave a comment for us. We'd love to know if these kind of videos are helpful, and also if you have any other topics that you'd like us to cover, please do so in the live chat or the comment section below. So if you aren't following along in the live premiere screening, please go ahead and contact us with your questions or comments on our website. We'll be very happy to hear from you. With that being said, thank you for watching, and we look forward to chatting with you soon. Bye. recording.